All right. So back to this. Good old EverQuest. So this is where I left off. Just kind of did. Yesterday was a little bit of an intro, just kind of getting my bearings here. Again, uh, I don't know how this is working on Twitch. I didn't even look last night, to be honest with you. After I did this, I want to keep these to about an hour, just kind of roll through this. Um, this is all fairly, all this stuff is new content. Um, because this wasn't part of the game when I was originally playing this. And when I originally wanted, what I originally wanted to do with this is I just kind of want to go through the game, look at like what's changed and what's not. Like I said, it has been shit. I think I stopped playing this. I think it's like I said, 2002, 2003, somewhere around there. So a lot of this stuff was not implemented in the game at that point. A lot of this stuff is new. So that was kind of my idea. I started playing this game again. Shit, I don't know why, man. It's for some weird reason, man. This game is addicting. And even after a 20-year break in this thing, and yes, I am old. Um, well, 23 years, something like that. Somewhere around there. I don't know the exact date of when I quit playing. And I don't have that account anymore, right? That that account, I don't know. I gave it to my girlfriend back in the day. When we had a little bit of a falling out. She kept playing for a while, and then I don't know what happened to it. I do have the CD key, and I'm wondering if like there's some way to get that account back. I'm gonna try one of these days. I just haven't, up to this point. Um, Also, I decided to stream this thing on YouTube and Twitch. I've never used Twitch, for that sort of thing. I've watched people on Twitch a lot, but I've never actually streamed to Twitch. I have streamed to YouTube before. I do have, a couple different channels that I do different things with. Generally, not the same as this at all. Not dealing with gaming and not dealing with streaming myself like this. Um, and someday maybe I'll set up a webcam. I don't know. I just I don't really care all that much. I just kind of want to go through this and as I'm playing the game, I figured might as well from the hallways out of you here because that's yeah okay, dude. Um, that's I don't know. It's weird because this is a new zone, so whoever took over this game decided to try and do that little I guess that role playing. I don't know. I mean, honestly, yeah, there were role play servers back then, but I don't think anybody role played. Um, I sure as hell didn't. No one that I know on my server did. Am I little too? Yeah, I am a little too, so I can buy this stuff. Do I even have money? No, I don't even have money yet. I gotta do some of these quests so I can get some money so I can buy the spells. Um, anyway, so yeah, I mean, the whole point of this was to kind of just talk about, what this is, what it's become, and just play the game. To me, it's interesting. I mean, it's definitely a lot different than what it used to be in some ways. In some ways, it's the exact same. I mean, these grainy ass graphics, that was kind of a thing, after the what was it was it Planes of Power? I believe sometime in the Planes of Power, your character started looking a little better. Shit, I remember originally, man, they looked like freaking Gumby characters, blockheads and stuff. It was pretty fucking crude in the early days, but it's cool. We all played it. I mean, this was if you wanted to play an MMO, this was the thing for a very long time before the World of Warcrafts and all that sort of stuff. Um, but yeah, to get into it a little bit, when I started playing this, uh, it was interesting. You had to group with people. You couldn't solo this game. Oh, there's other people. Oh, this dude's multi boxing. It looks like. That was another thing that came in later. That was a bannable offense. They caught you doing this. Well, that person's not part of it. But the first two looked like they were multi-boxing because they were following each other. It could just be one following the other. But I believe if you still hit slash follow or something like that, you can still follow a person in this game. That's the way it used to be. And and your characters would react like that. But a lot of times, I know when you, because I do have friends that started doing that towards the end there, and that still play this game and have like 8 accounts and play them all at the same damn time and do stupid shit, do their own solo raids and stuff. Um, but yeah, back in the day, that was a bannable offense. Like if you got caught doing that, then you'd get banned. You get caught doing anything in this game, it was pretty harsh, man. You would get banned. They did not appreciate. They didn't appreciate anything. Like this game was so brutal and crazy that and that's one thing I appreciated about this game is they would throw. I don't even have my buff up. They would throw these monsters or mobs or whatever you want to call them in the game. I got some allergies today, man. But they would throw these things in the game that maybe you could beat them, maybe you couldn't. They didn't give a shit. It didn't fucking matter. And you could kill anything in this game. My inventory looked like all right. Like literally, you kill anything. Like you could attack. There were guilds I remember on the server that would go in and just clear out a city. Just didn't care, and you weren't supposed to technically, be able to kill vendors and stuff like that. But people figured out ways to do it, I remember the first time someone killed the Priest of Discord. Priest of Discord, those don't know, is it's an NPC that if you want to flag yourself for PvP, you go and talk to the Priest of Discord, and he turns your, the name above your character red, and you're PvP now. People can if another character is also in the red, and it's permanent. So even on a non-PvP server, you can do this. Well, that was the point, to do it on a non-PvP server. And so if your name was red, anybody who had another name that was red, they could attack you. The problem was it ruined your game because if you read, like, people that were non-PvP couldn't heal you or do anything with you. Like, I don't know if they could buff you. I don't think they. Maybe they could. I don't know. So I can't remember. I think you could buff mobs back in the day. I don't remember if you could or not. But yeah, they couldn't fucking heal you, man. So you were kind of playing solo at that point. It's like game over. So it really screwed you up because I remember the first character I made, I did that. I made that mistake and figured it out pretty quick that my girlfriend was having problems healing me and had to remake that character. I think I remade that character a couple times before I actually figured out how to play this damn game. I think originally I took a deity that was, because they have religion in this game. I took a deity that was evil and I started getting killed by guards at some of the cities, and it wasn't the guards that were the problem. The problem was you couldn't buy your spells from the regular place where you bought spells in the game. Back then you had to go find your spells in the city, and there were you didn't have guides and stuff like that really in the early days until Alakazam came out. And so, it was kind of crazy. So, like, if you took a evil deity, like, they wouldn't sell to you. They'd just say something about, we've been watching your actions, and we will not sell to you, or something stupid. So, I ended up remaking the character a couple times just to get out of all that, figure all that out. Of course, she played a paladin. She didn't have to worry about it because they can only be good classes. So Didn't matter to her. Plus, they don't really have spells to buy and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a pain in the ass. That was a serious pain in the ass. It was one of the things about the game I didn't really care for is the religion in the game was kind of just wonky. Let's see, so that's all the nests, and you want more battle. And so I played on a server called Terramar, and I believe it was one of the original launch servers. I think it was actually a beta server, I was told. And I think we started playing the game. I think it was only a couple, maybe a month, maybe a couple weeks after it. Let's see, let's do this here real quick. After it started, after the game released. Okay, so this is like, okay, so I remember when this came into, just a sidetrack, augmentations. I think back then they were called gems. I think they were just gems. And yeah, being able to put things in your weapons and stuff like that. I remember when that came out, that was Lost Dungeons of Norath. And I remember nobody played that because when Lost Dungeons of Norath came out, it was a. Did I screw that quest up? I screwed the quest up. When Lost Dungeons of Norath came out, it was instanced zones, right? Because the whole idea behind this game is like everybody played together. Like you couldn't avoid people. It was just everybody was kind of doing the same thing. And so if you went out into the world, people were there. Like everybody on the server, we were all playing in the same areas and stuff like that. As long as you're on the same server, there was nothing that was instanced. The original parts of the game. When LEON came out, Lost Dungeons of Norath, it was things were instanced, and all of a sudden you started seeing that being a thing, right? Like Everquest kind of thing. And what's going on here? This guy's gonna come steal my shit. Oh, did it auto equip? I thought I just got a piece of armor, dude. And where is it? There it is. Did it have a pop-up box? Are you sure? Yeah, that's what it was. I didn't do the pop-up box. All right, I'll put that on. I believe next thing I got to do is kill these spiders. Yeah, I think next thing to do is kill the spiders, and that's where these guys are going. So it's not going to be fun. Anyway, so what was I talking about? So yeah, we played on a thing called Terramar, a server called Terramar, and like I said, you ran into people all the time, dude, and you got to like kind of know people because you had to group. You're forced to. If you didn't group, you pretty much were playing this thing in hard mode, extremely hard mode, almost impossible mode. I think in the newbie zones you could get away with stuff like this, soloing, stuff like that. But you didn't have your mercenary here. That didn't exist. I don't know when that even came out because the whole mercenary system was not a part of the game. I remember when Guild Wars came out. I think it was Guild Wars. Yeah, I think it was Guild Wars. I jumped on that for a short time, very, very short time. And that had a mercenary system. And that was kind of, that was all right. It wasn't really my thing. But, this seems a lot like it now. And, but yeah, I don't know when EverQuest implemented that. That was not a thing back when we were playing this game. And my dude, okay, Jelmer. I just had these goofy ass names for these characters. So but yeah, I played that. I played on Ralzek. Ralzek was a PvP server. I played on that for a short time because I had some friends that just had to be on a PvP server, and drove me nuts because I don't know, it just wasn't fun, dude. In this game, like I said, the way this game operated, it's like they didn't seem to really give a shit. whether you could do something or not. They just built a game and basically said, "Have at it. We don't care. It's not balanced. It wasn't balanced at all. It wasn't made for PvP at all. It was definitely not made for player versus player stuff. Even on the player versus player servers, it just wasn't made for player versus player. It was ridiculous. I mean, you can go online, you can read about all the stuff that happened, that rules were changed. My friend, one of my buddies that I work with, actually got the rules changed, and that was kind of a badge of honor for him, where he was a Shadow Knight. He played Shadow Knight. He liked Shadow Knight because he could just freaking harm touch you and kill you in one shot at once he got you down low enough in health. And he used to love that shit. And and he used to love the PvP. He thought he was the greatest, and he wasn't. He was good. He was actually legit. He was good at PvP, but I think he thought he was better than he is. But he played a Shadow Knight, and his whole thing was, he wasn't stupid. He was a smart dude. He figured out that if you drown yourself, and if you how did it work? Yeah, if you drown yourself, your harm touch comes back, right? So this thing that I forget, like I said, I don't remember how long. I know it's a long fucking time. It's like, took at least hours or an hour and a half or something for it to come back. I don't remember. I think it was a day of in-game time. Oh, shoot, I'm gonna have to close it. Hold on a second. I got the gardener here, and it took like an hour of I believe in-game time. So hour and a half, something like that. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, and I never played one of those characters. But rather than wait that amount of time, if you died, then it would come back. Now, back in the day, I believe is how it worked. If you drown, you didn't lose experience. You didn't lose XP for drowning. You just had to pick your gear up. So this dude was playing we played. We all did on that server. We played Dark Elves. And so he's playing a Dark Elf. And so he would go into their city, Neriac, and he'd drown himself. So he would go out, and the way he would do it is he would attack somebody. And like I said, everybody kind of knew everybody on these servers. You knew who the PvPers were. And he'd go and he'd attack somebody. And this was, I think this was like mid-level. So this is like when he was playing in his 30s, 40s level character or something. And, he'd go out and he'd attack somebody. And he had two things. He had one thing that he would quest for. And he'd always quest for it. And it was, God, what was it? The Thex Mallet or something like that? It had one charge of complete heal, right? So he could heal himself. So he's a Shadow Knight, Shadow Knight. They're Death Knights in World of Warcraft. They're Shadow Knights in this. He was a Shadow Knight that could, gotta speed this story up, because I can't remember. I'm like this is all going off memory. This is an old ass memory. But he's a Shadow Knight. He can harm touch, so he can take half of your fucking life instantly. But he can't do shit for damage, right? So he can take half your life. Now he's got an item that he had to quest for. That's a pain in the ass of a quest, but he would do that quest every day or every couple days, whatever it was, and he would always have one in his inventory, and it would do a complete heal. So now he can do what the Paladin can do, and he can also do what the Shadow Knight can do. So what this guy would do is this guy would start chopping at somebody, and he get him get him down to half life, and he just murder him. And then he'd go and he'd drown himself in the main city, go pick up his stuff, because back then your stuff stayed on your corpse, or he just strip himself naked, go drown himself. Well, when you died, your harm touch came back. So now he's got the same ability again. And then he go do his quest for his thing again, and I think it's Thex Mount. I don't remember. It's something out of Befallen, because this guy always stayed in that zone. And he'd go on, do his little camping trip again. But if the person he found that person again, he'd go and attack him again, and they figured his harm touch is gone because he can't have it. And he'd go and start chopping at him, and he'd harm touch them, and they'd freak the fuck out and call GMs, and shit would go fucking haywire. So what they did eventually is they made it so when a Death Knight dies, their harm touch doesn't come back. It's still on the same cooldown timer. They had to change that rule because of him, and that was kind of like, wow, dude, you got a rule change, dude, because you're cheesing it so bad. So that was interesting. I believe my other friends did something similar with mage pets, because they went on the PvP server and they both made mages. And I remember what they would do was pretty jacked up. They would go to a camping spot, which we called it camping back then. And for those who play the game would know what I'm talking about. You just kind of stayed in one spot and you just grabbed everything around you and just killed everything around you. And that's kind of the way this game has always been. And they would find a spot, that was their level. And there were a couple of very popular spots. And again, you're playing with everybody else on the server. So you got to know everybody, and you'd piss everybody off if you went and tried to, if you went into somebody where somebody's playing and they're camping this spot and they've been there for hours and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you show up and say, hey, I want to do this too. And if they didn't want to let you in the group, well, that's their spot, right? So theoretically, you just go find something else to do. But yeah, they didn't accept that. So at least not at this time. So what they would do is they were mages, those dual mages. They would bind themselves in the zone, which means you respawn in that zone when you die. And they would go and attack the group. They'd attack the healer, the cleric. It was usually a cleric, sometimes druid, but usually, especially when you're in the outdoors, you can kind of get away with druid sometimes. But generally cleric, and they'd attack the cleric. And then they'd send them a message saying, hey, we're taking over. Either you leave or we kill you. And, no, it's them against an entire group, so they'd lose and they get killed. Well, then they'd respawn. And all they would do is they would pick up their, I don't know if it's still this way. I'm about to find out, dude, because I made a mage. But, and I'm getting my ass kicked here. Let him tank a little bit. And if, when you died, they would reappear and they get on their corpse, actually what they would do. Okay. So this is how they did it. If I remember right, they kill each other next to their bind spot. And then they would leave corpses with nothing but the stones that they needed to summon their pets. So what they would do is they go and they attack this group. They'd sick their pets on this group. And getting attacked from behind here. They'd sick their pets on this group. And their pets would attack the group, obviously. And they get killed. And eventually they'd respawn. And when they respawn, they'd go on that little corpse that they left there. And they'd pick up their... sorry, thinking here. Damn it. I'm going to loot this shit. Why is it not letting me loot? Can't loot well. Okay. But anyways, they pick up their gemstones. They'd summon their pets. They go attack the priests again. Cleric, whatever they call it. And it's cleric in this game. There's a priest in World of Warcraft. But yeah, they go attack him again and again and again and again and again until that cleric ran out of mana, because it didn't take much mana to cast the and I believe when you died, you had a full set of mana. So this was a rule change that they enacted due to this PvP shit that they were doing. What would happen is when you died, you came back with full mana. And as you came back with full mana, they would go and they'd pick up their little shards to summon their pet, and they'd summon the pet again. And you would have, they would go attack the cleric again and kill their healer. And eventually, after 2 or 3 times of this, they killed the fucking healer. Now the healer's dead. Now what happens, right? They can't heal the tank. They can't heal anybody. Nobody can get healed. And they would attack the warrior, the tank. And at this point, this group's no longer playing the game. They're no longer pulling creatures. They're no longer doing any of that stuff. They're now fighting for their lives. And eventually, yeah, they kill the group and they scare the group out of there. And then sometimes the group would come back and kill them and stuff like that, and mess with them. But they were doing it at that point just a troll. And my one friend was kind of a dick when he played the game. So yeah, he would troll the shit out of people, and they would do this kind of regularly. So they had to change the rule, and what they did was they made it so that when you died, you came back with no mana. And I believe it's still that way. And now they have, I've noticed they have something when you die here, and I'm sure it will eventually, that some sort of resurrection sickness. You had that with, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. It had something called resurrection sickness that only happened back then. It only happened when the necros would summon your corpse and stuff like that. But yeah, they started doing that with actual players, and they started doing that with players because these fucking guys were doing dumb shit like that, dude. And it was cheesy as hell. And and then there's Fancy the Bard, which I didn't know Fancy the Bard, but if you look online, you'll see the Fancy the Bard story. That was notorious because that guy basically terrorized an entire server for days and made it unplayable at a certain level for a couple days. And he did a really good job of that. And, Fancy the Bard, what would happen is, on those servers, I believe you had to be within 3 levels. I think it was 3 levels. And you couldn't attack somebody below a certain level. I forget what level it was, like it's a level 15, 13, something like that. I don't remember. But you couldn't attack somebody even on a PvP server under a certain level, right? It was like, newbie stuff. That way you didn't have some, high-level person going into newbie zones and just slaughtering everybody. And so you had kind of a little grace period there. This dude figured it out. He's a bard. So, bards have, songs, they call them, but they're basically spells. He could run fast. He could run real fast. And nobody could attack him because he was below the level cap, and he got that spell before the level cap, where he could be attacked. So he couldn't be attacked by anybody. Players couldn't kill him. They couldn't do anything about him. And what he would do is he would go in. And one thing about Everquest, one thing that was always a thing with Everquest, was Everquest always had one character, one mob in the zone that was hyper, how do I say it? Was a lot higher level than anything else. Was like super aggressive, super crazy, So you're sitting there at level 15, and this all happened in what? Oasis? I think it was Oasis. I think it was the name of the zone. So you're level 15, killing these crocodiles in Oasis, but there's level 35 giants in that zone. I think they're 35. They may be 25, but I think they're 35. And but you got these high level, things run around the zone. Generally, you just avoid them. If you see them, you avoid them. And what this guy was doing is like I say, he can run fast. So, he's got that spell. He can outrun the giants. And he would just go piss them off. And he'd drag the giants through the entire zone and kill everybody. Everybody would die. All the players. So nobody could use that zone. That zone became absolutely fucking worthless for days. And so they had to change that rule where I think originally, I don't know, it's online. I read it on, it's like Alakazam has it or something, I think. But I went online and looked it up, and yeah, Fancy the Bard, I believe what they had to do is they had to make it so anybody was killable in that zone. Just that zone, I believe, originally. And then I think later they changed it to something. I'm not even sure how they fixed that problem in the end. But yeah, that shit was crazy. So the PvP stuff, it was so unbalanced that it was kind of stupid. You know, some people, you had the right class, you could wreck people pretty easily. I mean, necromancers were insane for the PvP stuff in the early days, and I may still be like this. I don't know. You know, like I said, I haven't really. What am I doing on these quests anyway? Deliver 4 of the cocoons. Do I have the other quest to kill these guys? Oh no, I don't. Well, this is pointless running through here then. But anyway, so hold on a sec. Let's see. I'm trying to think here what I'm doing. Gotta go turn all the stuff in. But and then these things are actually good to open, I learned. Because these things drop backpacks. All right. Get the food. Oh yeah, I'm gonna need an arrow later for one of the quests. Shit, I just lost my train of thought there completely. I'm an old man. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, this game, they would have yeah, every zone had like one mob, dude, that was like super high level. They just come and wreck everybody. And again, this game was so, you know, the thing that I appreciated about this game is it was so like crazy. You're always on your feet, dude, because at any moment that one mob that was insane, that was way higher level than anything else, could just show up and murk you. And it was pretty gnarly. Let's see, I think I give her these. Yeah, give her those. Did she give me? Yeah, she gave me armor, I thought. Wait, what the hell? That's not the armor she's supposed to give me, I don't think. Where's this window? God, these windows. All right, so let's set up these. Because it's usually how I set up the backpacks. And then these I gotta sell. She give me nothing. All right, so I think I got to do the next one. So that she gives me some. No, I think that's it. I just got to bring more of that stuff back to her. But yeah, so you know, the PvP was interesting. It was I don't know. I didn't really care for it too much. Oh, there's the reward. Windows on windows on windows on windows on windows on windows. Originally, this didn't look like this. This looked a lot different. There's only one option there, so and that's the rope. Okay, and it auto equipped it. That's cool. But yeah, you know, basically, I played on a server called Terramar. Terramar was it was interesting. We had you know, we had our issues. We had definitely had our issues on that server, man. It was a pain in the ass. I'm low 4. I wonder, can I afford anything? I got 1 plat. Yeah, I probably could afford the spells. On Terramar, we had 3 main guilds. We had 3 major guilds. You know, if you were part of one of those guilds, those were the ones that pretty much did all the in-game stuff first, at least. I don't think I need any of this crap. Let's see. So I'm looking at level 2 summon. I don't need summons right now. I don't need summons. Bandages are probably good, but screw it. I'm not going to do that right now. There's my fire elemental. 1 plat. I don't have money for shit like that. I think I gate burn. That's what I need. What does this do? 13, 14 damage. Yeah, well, it's damage, so let's do that. Let's do the burn. Shit, I can't do that yet, so yeah, we'll just do the burn for now, and then we'll. So I'm not trying to get everything right now. Let's see where's spells. Go to spellbook. Whoops. Let's open up spellbook and let's throw a burn on the toolbar here. Probably not gonna need that burst flame anymore, but we'll leave it up there anyway. For the hell of it. This thing took me a while to figure out. There's a little line there, man. It tells you when it's how long it's going to take to get on your spell bar. And I think it goes with meditate. I'm not sure if it because it starts to go faster later. But man, I thought this thing was broken at first. It's like, dude, it's not memorizing. I can't put it on the spell bar. I was freaking out in the beginning of this. That took some patience. That wasn't a thing when I was playing. I think they were automatic. They just like automatically showed up on your bar back in the day, if I remember right. I could be wrong, but I think. Oh, there's a couple quests up here I should take. And then this crouching thing, man. I don't remember if you can crouch in the game or not, but it's so annoying when you go up against the side and your character automatically crouches and suddenly you're walking. Your walk speed. It's just I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's see. So what does he want? Kobold. Let's see the Taskins. What is this rebellion? Oh yeah, it's a rebellion one. That's a long fucking quest. I don't even know if I'm gonna finish that one out. Kobolds. Go in there and clear. Yeah, clear out kobolds. This guy had a quest where he wanted a arrow. He just wants you to turn in an arrow. Return to Mackenzie the Younger. Oh, dude, I gotta still go to him and talk to him. Okay, there's the arrow. All right, cool. And then he gives you something that I can sell because I don't need a quiver as a mage. Fuck that. So anyway, so Terramar, we had 3 guilds. We had, when I was playing. I know it's changed. Let's see. It's gonna ask me if I want to sell this. I remember this. I don't know why. I may as well sell this crap. So Terramar, we had Pakafan was the name of one guild. And Light and Dark, which they named themselves something else. Like, or I think originally they were something else, but they became the Enlightened Dark. And I think they were mostly, I don't know what that was. I don't care. But yeah, the Enlightened Dark were the major guild, the main one. And then the third or the second guild you had was called Clan of Shadows. Clan of Shadows was what I belonged to back in the day. So I wasn't part of the Uber guild, but yeah, it was like we were number 2 in line basically. And let's see, what am I supposed to be doing here? I gotta talk to that guy again. I gotta hail this guy again for no good reason. Oh, dude, and we're fighting. Oh, we're fighting that thing. All right. But yeah, so you had 3 major guilds, and it was so bad on our server. We're fighting so they were fighting so much that what ended up happening is the GMs came in and the GM said, okay, you guys have to take turns. You have to take turns on all the big boss mobs. You can't just first come first serve this thing, because it just wasn't working. We're all having issues, and stealing mobs from each other and stealing bosses from each other, and 2 guilds would show up, 70 people apiece into a zone, and it was clusterfuck. And then we were fighting over things, and it just got ugly. So what they did was they made it so like, okay, you guys got to take turns, and it was fucked up because you would have like server downtimes and stuff. The servers always went down, and what would happen is like it was your turn to kill, say, Nagafin, right, one of the dragons, and for whatever quest you're trying to do for whatever epic back in the day. And you're trying to kill Nagafin. Well, all of a sudden it shows up because it's like a 2-week spawn or something like that. I'm not sure. I mean, I could be off my numbers here because this is all memory, but it's like a 2-week spawn or something of that nature. And so this thing shows up. Whoops, that thing's dead. Why am I trying to kill a dead thing? So it shows up all of a sudden, man, and the servers are going down in 15 minutes. Well, you got to get your dudes over there, and you got to just take care of it, because that's your spawn. And then once the servers reset, they consider that a new spawn. It's somebody else's. And everybody kind of followed the rules for the most part, on that. And it was kind of fucked up because you had to belong to one of these guilds. Because if you didn't, we had the spawns. Like it had to be, we were sharing it between our three guilds. And so, if you were going to make another guild at that point, you're kind of screwed, tough shit. You're not part of the rotation. You don't get shit, unless somebody, unless you go in there and just take it, since you're not part of the rotation, you can technically take it. So there was, it was interesting. It was an interesting server. I know a lot of servers didn't necessarily work like that, from my understanding. Because you had one Uber guild on most servers, and that Uber guild was just it. And if you weren't part of one of those Uber guilds, you just didn't do the in-game stuff. And we did for the most part. I mean, it was cool. The thing is, like, I don't know. I burned down a rating. I burned down a rating big time. But I was part of something called Clan of Shadows, right? Clan of Shadows was, and I think eventually our name got taken, if I remember right. I think the GMs basically took our guild and killed our guild. But and then they called it something else. I forget what it was. Something Shadows or something stupid. They wanted to call it Shadow Clan, and then some people had a problem with the name Clan being in that context. So that didn't happen. But we had a leader. Our leader was a guy named Machiavelli, and eventually he got banned, I think, because he was doing some mean shit. I mean, we had a dude in our because Everquest did something really stupid, or Sony did, Variant Interactive did something really stupid. We had a guy working for Alienware in the early days. Like, he was, I think, one of the founders of Alienware. He was in our, I think, this is the story as far as I understood it. And this fucking dude, he, really nice guy, really cool dude, man, really good enchanter. He was just epic. But everybody on the server knew him. Everybody loved him. He was cool. But he was a GM. And so what Variant did, one of their big mistakes that they pulled was that they, by the way, I'm not even really paying attention to the quest, but I think I am on track right now. What they did was they asked for volunteers, man. They wanted people to basically work for free and be their GMs on various servers. So he became a GM, not on our server, but on a different server. So he had all the GM tools. So that means so did our guild leader, Mac, and Machiavelli. Eventually, like I said, he got banned for something. I don't even know what, but they took his character away. And I never even heard the story of why he got banned, but it's kind of obvious he was doing shady shit. And Machiavelli, he came back as Mac. And so he had the GM tools and at his disposal. Now, I don't know how much he could use them or whatever, but yeah, and the thing is, we could log on each other's accounts, dude. I used to have a phone book with everybody's phone number in it, and so did they. So you called people as soon as something popped up. You were calling everybody on the phone. This is before voice chat and all that sort of stuff. So you get a phone call saying, "Hey, dude, log on, dude. Your shit's up." All of a sudden, there you are. You're online, and dealing with whatever you're dealing with, having to race to a place to get something done. Why am I not casting? Am I out of mana? Yeah, I'm out of mana. I'm not even paying attention. Well, who cares? I don't need mana for these. My dude can kill these by himself. So anyway, so yeah, Mac, he was a character. He was a character. A lot of people, I should say, nobody outside of our guild liked him. If you're in our guild, you loved him. If you're outside of our guild, you hated him. He was such a pain in the ass sometimes. And yeah, he was notorious. Everybody on the server knew him. I remember one day he was sitting over there. One of the things we used to do to level up is we used to kill the guards in Freeport, and that was just the thing. Like as a wizard, I killed the guards in Freeport, the corrupt guards in Freeport, because you had the two different factions, and yeah, I killed corrupt guards in Freeport for a couple levels. Let's see, leave all. Um, well, obviously, so did he. I didn't even realize he did this, but yeah, it doesn't matter to me. But I guess he did, and all of a sudden, one of the people from the other guild in Light and Dark, one of the bards, realized that he had done this. Right, he was bound in Freeport. His character was bound there, so he ended up this person ended up training the guards to him all night long. He de-leveled, I forget how many levels it was, but it was something insane. It was like 10 levels, 8 levels, something like that. I mean, de-leveled this guy for hours. And because Mac used to play until he fell asleep, and I guess he must have fallen asleep during one of our raids or whatever. We used to try to wake him up. We used to call him. You couldn't wake him up, man, once he waffled on the keyboard. And the son of a bitch, he got de-leveled one day. So we had to spend the next, like, I don't know, it didn't take that long. It was a couple days, but, almost a week, I think it was, just re-leveling him because of that. But yeah, he was a cool dude. He was all right. He was the first one, to my knowledge, that figured something out as far as what was it? Karner's Castle. I forget what the name of the guy in Karner's Castle was, but it was the king, whatever, in Karner's Castle. He figured out that the problem with that, the mechanic on that guy, that was a pain in the ass. Did I level or something? No, I didn't. Not yet. The thing that made him a pain in the ass, though, I just have no mana, so it's coming back really quick. What was a pain in the ass about the guy in Karner's Castle was he would life drain you. So the general idea behind killing him at the time was to bring like 70 people, man. You had to bring a lot of people. And because he would just life drain the shit out of the tank. And he'd never die. And so what would happen is, you'd have to burn him down. So you'd have to bring a shit ton of rogues, and it was a pain in the ass. It was a tough fight. And I think we had like 45 minutes or something before server downtime. The dude pops up, and we're like, "This is our spawn. We got to kill him." And we only had 15 people. It was like 15 people. So Machiavelli, he was probably Mac at the time. You know what? He may not have gotten banned that time. You know what? I think they took his name because they didn't like that somebody reported him, because they were mass reporting him all the time. I think they reported the name, and because the name is actually a historical figure, I think they took it away. They used to take away names for really stupid reasons back then. So Machiavelli, he sat there, he was talking to us, and he's like, "We got to kill this thing, dude. We just have to. Like, we got 15 dudes. Like, normally it takes 70. We got to kill this thing." He goes, "But I got an idea." And he said he was playing on a PvP server, and obviously he could have been lying, but I'm gonna, just because I think the story's cool as shit, I'm gonna say that he wasn't. He says, well, he's playing on a PvP server, and he realized that when you damage shield somebody on a PvP server, I forget what they called it. Shit, I don't know. It's an enchanter spell. Because we had a couple enchanters that were online. We had 2 of them, I believe, at that time. Because the enchanters could, what is it called? A rune? I think it was called a rune. Yeah, it casts a damage shield on somebody, right? So, like, basically, what happens is when you take damage, you don't take damage because this shield takes damage. And once shield takes over a certain amount of damage, it disappears. So he figured out that, hey, man, when on a PvP server, you attack somebody and you have one of those on, like, or well, he was saying, you know, one of the tricks on the PvP server was uh, to attack somebody, and if you had one of those damage shields on, you didn't take any damage, and the life steal, that was a way for people to get around necros and stuff like that, which are very popular on the servers. Was to to fucking put a damage shield on you so they can't life steal you. Okay, we just finished that quest. So we went in there, like I said, like 15 dudes. I think it was like 15 dudes. It was almost nothing, dude. It was ridiculous. And we're like, there's no way we can kill this dude, because that was like a 70-person raid. And we went in there, man, and all he did was he told the two enchanters that just keep casting that, chain cast that on me, and we're gonna kill this son of a bitch. And he did it. He did it. We went in there with, like I said, I think it was 15, 13 maybe. We did not have very many people. And went in there and killed this guy, and we were the first ones to do it. And I think we got mass reported for that because they thought we cheated somehow. Because I was there, and you know, everyone was saying there's no way that your guild only had, you know, 13. I think it was 13 people in the zone, and you killed, you know, King Tranix or whatever his name was. I forget what his name was. I don't think it was King Tranix. I can't remember what zone he was in. But yeah, son of a bitch, man, he killed it, and yeah, it caused all kinds of controversy and shit. But that was EverQuest, man. That was this game. I recently just had shits and giggles, and that's kind of what spurred me to actually start playing this again. I went on and I looked up my old guild. I kind of was doing a search for it, and I guess somebody still controls the guild. I don't know who it is, you know, because like I said, we all knew each other. You know, I think there was only 70 of us at the high point. But we were everybody in that guild was very, very active in that guild. Somebody's got it though. Somebody's still got control of that guild. I don't think it's Mac, dude. Mac, yeah, I don't know. I think he quit playing eventually. We all kind of quit when EverQuest 2 came out. I remember going on to EverQuest 2 and playing EverQuest 2, and me and I actually got my girlfriend stopped playing EverQuest 1 to play EverQuest 2. My girlfriend at the time. And yeah, and she, you know, I gave her my account from this, which, you know, I don't know. Which kind of regret. But, you know, I gave her my account and I'm like, you play because you're still playing. I don't give a shit about EverQuest 1 anymore. I'm going to play EverQuest 2 because I'm just over it. And I'm over the guild drama and all the bullshit that was happening. And I was over the game. We spent, one of the things that burned me out really extremely, I remember from that, was we went to a fan fest, me and her. And it was kind of cool. We met everybody. I mean, from our guild, I think 20 people showed up, dude. It was, I mean, yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. I remember puking out the window for a whole night there, man. It was bad.
No. Oh, no.
Shoot,
He's complaining.
I gotta get off this. So yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And I mean, it was fun, but it was bad. You know, it was a party, and it was a nonstop party. Felt bad for the poor kids, man, because one of the kids, I remember, he wasn't even old enough to drink, but they had him drinking, dude. And yeah, he was puking his brains out in the corner the whole time. But I don't remember which one it was. Fanfare, I think it's called Fanfare. Back then, I still have the T-shirt. It's got a frog luck on it, and I think it was when. Well, I mean, Sebelis would have been out, so I don't know if it's when they were talking about introducing the frog locks as a playable character. I don't think it was, to be honest with you. What's this guy doing? Oh, he's just casting buffs or something. So I got to kill this damn thing. I think, right? Do I have that yet? No, I don't have that quest yet. I wonder if he'll still drop it. Yeah, he should. No, because I think I got to get the quest. Um, I think this is kind of the end of it because I don't really want to stream for longer than an hour. Because I can sit here for the next 3 hours just talking and streaming, and that would be kind of stupid. Oh, where's my dude? Oh, he's over there. Shit. Um, I pulled aggro somehow. All right. Kill everything. So we went to FanFest, right? Or Fanfare. And I remember it was the Sahara Hotel. Yeah, Sahara Hotel in Vegas. We're all sitting there and just hammered as shit. And it was bad. It was bad day. It was bad days, man. And I remember we spent at that time, now we're talking about 90. Well, so the game came out in 99. So it would have probably been 2001, 2002, somewhere around there, I'm guessing. I don't remember. I could probably look it up and see which FanFest that was. I'd go find the shirt. I don't know where exactly it's at anymore. I know I still have it somewhere. But so FanFest, we're there, and we spent. I know the one day, because I was winning. I was in Vegas. I was actually winning some money, and eventually. Oh yeah, these are worth money. All right. Well, there's my money for the game, for the noob zone. And so we I decided, okay, we're a couple days in. I didn't realize how bad this was at the time. But we're a couple days in, and I said, all right, I'll buy the alcohol today, man. Alcohol, cigarettes. I mean, I smoked back then. Now you hear me with the vape back here, but yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes. And I said, all right, I'll buy it, man, because I'm making money, dude. I'm getting rich out of here. And I thought, and dude, it was $1,300. I remember it being $1,300. They were like, okay, so because we were doing a hotel party, some of the people actually lived in Vegas. So they're like, oh yeah, this is how you do a hotel party. If we went 3 floors up, 3 floors down, looted. We raided all the ice machines. Took all the ice out of all the ice. I mean, we drained them for, like I said, 3 floors up, 3 floors down. We went and stole all the ottomans that are sitting in front of the elevators, put them in the room, so everybody had a place to sit. They had a suite that they got, and so you're sitting in the suite. And you throw all the ice in the bathtub, and that's where you put the beer and all that stuff and all the alcohol. And when I went and bought the stuff that morning, I'm like, hey, I'll get it. I'm making money. I'm winning. I'm doing cool. Okay. Yeah, my gardener's here, so you may hear some noise. Should probably cut this off soon anyway. Yeah, so we're sitting there, and I bought this stuff, and on my way to their hotel, because I was staying in the Luxor that year. But damn, dude, it was $1,300. The biggest jug of vodka you could get, Jägermeister, something like 5 cartons of cigarettes because everyone was smoking different cigarettes. It was just bad. It was horrible. And we went to the fanfare once. I think we went once, maybe twice. I think we went once. We went in there, walked in there, we're like, yeah, we're done. We're good. We left. And brought some people back to the room with us as far as other guilds and stuff like that. We told them where we were and everything. All the other guilds started showing up and stuff like that. It was really cool. Pretty much everybody on our server ended up in our room at some point, or ended up in that room, not my room, but in that room at some point or another. It was Machiavelli's room. Let's see. So I don't know about skills, man, but yeah, I'm just doing my thing. Anyway, so we would we sat there. We were just got a leaf blower right outside my window. Of all the times to do this sort of thing, man, it has to be right now. Yeah, so that was like FanFest, right? So what? To finish that story out, we're at FanFest and we're sitting there and we're watching. Oh my God, this guy loves just going by this window over and over and over again. I think he's going to the other side of the house now. I hope. God, I hope he is. Jesus. So fanfare, right? Fanfare. So we're sitting there and we're watching another guild, Pack-A-Fan. And we're watching this other guild while we're there. They didn't go to fanfare. They didn't have anybody there. We're watching them key for Vexthal because that was the big thing at that time. So that could probably date when this was. I don't know. But they're keying for Vexthal. Vexthal was a pain in the ass. That key was such a pain in the ass. I think you had to camp. I don't remember how many zones it was to get the pieces of the key. I think it was 5 different pieces. One was a container and I think 4 pieces, if I remember right. I could be wrong on that. It could have been 8 for all I know. I know it was a lot. It was a pain in the ass. And they're keying for it. And we saw this, or no, they got into it. They got into Vexthal, I believe, while we're there. And one of our rogues was sitting there watching them do it. And we were so pissed off because we were like the number 2 guild, and all of a sudden they became the number 2 guild because they gotten in there before us. And we weren't really working on getting keyed for that place because we didn't think it was a big deal. But we're sitting there as a group, 20 of us or whatever it was at the time, and we're getting pissed off because we're like, we just got bumped down the ranks. We fucked up. And when we got back, me and my girlfriend at the time, we sat there and we were up for 2 weeks straight playing this thing. And what we'd do is, she was a student at the time. I was technically working, but I took time off of work to do this. Holy shit, man. I mean, she would go to school. I'd get up and I'd play. We had 3 computers at her house. I brought my computer over to her house. Back then, yeah, that's the way it was. Laptops weren't strong enough for that at the time, I don't think. But brought my computer over to her house, and whatever. I stayed at her house for 2 weeks, and so she would get up, go to school, and I'd play. I'd play all fucking all day, and then she'd come home from school. She'd jump on, and I'd pass out behind her. And then I'd wake up, get back on. She'd pass out. She'd wake up, go to school, and we just repeated that for 2 weeks straight, just about. I think we were online for almost 2 weeks straight. And, basically what happened is, we offered to do it while we were at Fanfare. And, because we met the guild leader, he liked her a lot. Everyone liked her because they found out she was an actual female behind the keyboard. So yeah, they were big into her. And she was cute. Yeah, she was gorgeous, but we're not together anymore, so whatever, it is what it is. So then so we did that. We sat there and basically what they did was they ran us through all the keys, and we got, basically our keys first. And then what happened is we sat there and we had a station. I believe in the beginning we were in, I forget what that zone is over there in Luckland, the Shissar zone. Is it Temple of Shissar or something like that? We were in there and we're camping that, she's a paladin, I was a wizard. And then I had my friend had oh God, he was taking a break at the time, so I had control of it. He had a shaman. And so we just sat there and farmed that out. And then I remember when the guild leader, got in there eventually, he's like, okay, you guys go somewhere else. And we ended up, I believe, in Fungus Grove. I think it was Fungus Grove we ended up in. And we spent, the rest of the time there, basically. So we spent a couple days in the Shisar Temple, and then we spent a couple days in Fungus Grove, and then I think we ended up at another place for. But I remember it being like, I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't a full 2 weeks, but it seemed like 2 fucking weeks from my memory. And yeah, just nonstop playing, man. It was crazy. And then after that, we got into Vexthal. And when we got in there, man, I was so bummed about that zone. I was like, this sucks. This zone sucks. I didn't like it. I mean, that's just me personally. I don't know. I was like, this zone, it seemed like it was white and gray. It was just plain. The walls were plain. The mobs were all same damn mob. I think half of them were glitched at the time. So they looked like humans, like naked humans. Oh, geez, it was stupid. And it sucked. So I was like, I don't want to be in here. I don't like this zone. I don't like doing this anymore. I don't want to play this anymore. Everquest 2 came out, and that was my springboard to get out of that. I know Plains of Power was out at the time that this was all happening. I know Vexthal wasn't a Plains of Power zone, but I believe Plains of Power was fairly new at the time. And I did a little bit in Plains of Power. I played for a little while in that because I didn't quit immediately, but I played a little bit in Plains of Power, and then that Vexthal became a thing, dude. I forget how often we had to go through and clear that damn zone, but I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. Burned me out hard. So, at that point, I'm just like, screw it. I'm done. Went to Everquest 2, played that for a little bit. That was okay, but it wasn't the same. Eventually, I mean, I tried everything, dude. I mean, I went to Anarchy Online, The Matrix Online, World War II Online. Jesus, that was actually fun. Oh God, what else did I play? Oh my God, I used to have a clipboard with all the stickers of all these stupid things on it. Lord of the Rings Online. I played that for a little bit. All these things. I know Lord of the Rings Online, man. It's my friends trying to get me back into that. I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't too happy when I was playing that one. But I didn't really care for that game too much. But yeah, I mean, Guild Wars, I did that for a short amount of time. I tried everything. I was trying to find something to replace this thing, and nothing ever could. But it's interesting because, like I said, I've been playing this about 3 weeks now. 3 weeks after a 20-year hiatus or whatever that was. I don't know the exact time frame there, but it's addicting. It's addicting again. Like I don't know why, but this game it's got me, and it's insane. Not too sure how I'm going to feel about the Magician here playing this guy, but my main, I'm playing a wizard, and that's what I played back in the day. That was my first character, and yeah, I mean, honestly, I played paladins. I played the shit out of that shaman. I played a druid. I had a druid high level, max level. I had a ranger max level. I'm trying to think what else. I did level up a rogue to max level, but I never geared him out very well, so I didn't use him very often, because that was all gear dependent when you get to high level with those guys, because you got to have a good weapon, you got to be able to do good damage, otherwise you're useless. Wizard, at least, I mean, you did the same fucking damage all the time. I guess that was a good thing about him. He did the same damage no matter what. It's just dependent on your mana, right? You may not have enough mana to cast that thing more than twice, which I think some of the later spells were kind of very mana intensive at the time. And the gear was nothing like what it is now. This gear's crazy. Like stats on gear, man. Like in vanilla of this gear right here would be beyond in game. This would be like expansion 1 gear, and this would be level 60 gear. The stats on this are insane. and that's the power creep throughout the years. But yeah, this is newbie zone shit. I'm level 5, and this would be like level 7. Oh shit! A deafening blast from. Oh, someone just did that final quest. I didn't realize it did it through the whole zone. That's interesting. But yeah, so I mean, but that's just power creep. That's power creep. I mean, the power creep on this is insane. It's insanity. Let me see if I got any crap gear that I think this. Okay, so yeah, this is what it would look like. This is normal gear. Like this would be your average shit gear that you would be excited about, right? It's got 2 armor class. Oh my god, dude. It's got 2 armor class. It's it's complete trash. But back then that was kind of the standard. Everything with all these stats and stuff that didn't happen. So I'm gonna end this on that. I don't want to really go too far over an hour. I think I'm an hour and 10 right now. Yeah, I don't want to go too far over an hour, dude. With this stuff. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be droning on. So for everybody out there, have a good day. See you on the next one. Someone just did the quest again. Let me quit this out though. And I think I'm just going to continue from where I was tomorrow. I think I'm just going to play this when as I do this, as I don't think I'm going to play this character anytime except on stream. Anyways, everybody have a good day. Until next time.